Okay. Yeah, so once again, you're all welcome to this training today. We're currently live on YouTube. It's a pleasure to be here again in this capacity building training. This is the October edition. Oh, sorry, I think there's an echo. Okay. Yeah, so we're all welcome, and this is the October edition of our capacity building training. And in this month's training, we're going to be considering this very vital subject, the exploring opportunities embedded in traveling, and specifically looking into the truths and fallacies therein. It's a very interesting topic to look into. I'm really quite sure you're going to learn a whole lot from the panelists that will be speaking with us today. They've taken out their time to be part of this capacity building training today, and we really hope that it's going to be worth the time for you, as we expect you to take full advantage of whatever you're going to be learning in this training today. Okay. I'm also going to be sharing my screen, so you also get to see one or two things from there. So once again, we are looking into exploring opportunities in traveling, then the truths and fallacies. There are quite a number of things that people are really not aware of, or they are aware of, but they are not correct. So there are truths, and at the same time, there are fallacies, made believe, things that are not true, that are not correct when it comes to traveling, things that have become institutionalized fallacies when it comes to traveling. Okay, so we deemed it fits as an organization, as a community, to bring some very amazing panelists to talk about these very vital subjects this day. I really hope you're going to get blessed a whole lot as you listen very closely and follow the training. Okay. It will interest you to know exactly who we are and what we stand for. Peradventure, this is your first time of attending this capacity building training. This is Bank of Opportunities, and we are a community service-based organization. We help people build capacity as one of the things we do, amongst several other things. And one of the ways in which we do that is holding trainings and events like this, bringing in panelists from different parts of the world to talk about different subjects in different facets of life. And we do all that for free at no cost. On a normal day, if you were to attend the training like this, you would have been paying to attend this kind of training. But even for us to get the attention of these panelists, I can tell you it's no joke. Good evening, Mr. Felix. So even to get the attention of these panelists, I can tell you it's no joke. On their own, they have very busy schedule. I mean, very busy schedule. That's why at times it takes us a long while before we decide to release the flyer for the next training, because we are at the background, we are making a lot of plans, a lot of efforts to get the next panelists to come on board and talk to us. And something really very cooking is happening next month already. So let me just water your appetite a bit. Something very serious is happening next month. We're bringing some other amazing panelists to speak to us and train us again next month. It's going to be amazing. And it's going to be on an aspect where a lot of people are actually a bit confused. And at the same time, they are looking forward to some level of coordinated assistance in that area, which is the area of scholarships. Oh, having seen scholarships flying around, there are different opportunities, different scholarships flying around, but I really don't know how to connect, how to take advantage of these scholarship opportunities. I have no idea. So what do I do? How do I go about it? Now we have the solution for you. We have been able to, if I can share the journey with you, it wasn't a funny journey at all. It wasn't a fun, it's always a whole lot of work on its own to get these panelists to come and talk to us, to come and train us, because they are very busy in their own space. So we're excited that God has helped us to, though we are still working on it. Please mute your mic on. Please mute your mic always when you enter. Thank you. So, it gives us gives us great joy to have the next panelist next month coming to talk to us, the practicality on how to actually hold that scholarship offer in your hand. These are people that have the experience. And if you have been in our trainings before, one of the things that decorate our trainings is not just panelists coming to inspire people with their speeches, but coming to walk the community members through a road that is feasible and relatable. Practical things they've been through in life personally, in that specific area where they will be speaking about, that members of the community can easily relate with. So these are people that have the experience. These are people that have the results. These are people that have the achievement when it comes to scholarships and other things. So that's to whet your appetite for next month. Meanwhile, the subject we are here to address today is quite important also. Truths and fallacies about traveling. Very vital. Some people have a dream of traveling for the past 5-10 years, but they have been held back because there are some fallacies that are operational in their minds. And those fallacies about traveling have kept them from achieving that goal, that dream thus far. So I really hope, and as a community, we really hope that you learn a lot and get delivered from some of these fallacies that have become chains, that have become padlocks, that have locked up people's desires and aspiration to travel for many years. So we really hope you learn a whole lot. Now, these are people that have the experience. These are people that are going to be talking practically. These are not things that they read online. These are not things they heard from people. These are their own personal experiences and level of wisdom they have been able to gather around their journey in life that they'll be sharing with us. So as a community, we are committed to bringing these panelists from different parts of the world to talk to us, to speak to us, to inspire us, as far as the sorry. Okay. Okay, sorry for that brief interruption. I was need to record, but I didn't start that on time. Okay, so So this is the time to get free, get liberated from that particular fallacy that has held you back. And also there are some truths that you need to be familiar with when it comes to traveling that peradventure you might not be aware of, or you might even have been aware of it, but you're going to be listening to some of them in another dimension that will also help you, definitely. So at the community, we have a couple of projects we also run. The personal development track is one of the projects we run. We held a meeting with the members of that project last week, and we had an amazing session together on helping people in their journey of personal development. You can't be more productive than the level of development you have subjected or submitted yourself to. You can only be impactful, and you can only be useful to the degree of your allowance for personal growth and personal development. In other words, your usefulness will absolutely be dependent on the level of personal development and growth you have deliberately subjected yourself to over a period of time. Okay? And like we said last week in that training, you can't finish developing yourself. It's a consistent journey. You can't definitely, you can't say you have actually arrived. Even the best brains they keep studying, they keep reading, they keep learning. It continues. It's a continuous journey. It's a school you can't graduate from. The School of Personal Development is a school you can't graduate from if you want to keep being relevant and you want to keep making impacts. Okay? If you don't want to go down in history and be swept over with the passage of time, then you have to keep developing yourself, because life itself changes. You can imagine the technological advancements that has happened to this age compared to what was obtainable 10 years back. So those who were in the tech space 10 years ago and those who are in the tech space now, if for those who didn't give room for a change and growth and to learn new things and also coast along with the recent trends in the tech space, definitely will have been forgotten by now, and they have become irrelevant. But those who kept on changing and updating their knowledge will also keep on being relevant. It applies to all fields and endeavors of life also. So change is basically constant in life. So that's one of the projects we run. We have a couple of other projects we run for talented individuals at different levels. So that is just a brief of the community. And also we have a platform on WhatsApp and on Telegram where we share scholarship opportunities to study abroad, to attend conferences, summits, internships, job opportunities at different levels on a daily basis. We share that on a daily basis with the people in the community on those platforms. In case you are not there yet and you're interested in that, that can be sorted out towards the end of the meeting. You can join any of those platforms and get connected to those daily offers we share with the community members. Okay. And we have much more than that. As a community, it's a big vision. The vision has been broken down into 4 phases. So we are just currently on the 2nd phase with this capacity building training we are holding. And we do this at least once in a month. So we had one last month. In case you missed that, you can catch up with that on our YouTube channel, Bank of Opportunities. So just check YouTube, then you can catch up with the training we had last month. So impactful. Panelists from Canada and also from Kenya were with us, and it was enriching. So we have it once in a month. So the one for next month will be coming up. You'll get to see the notification any moment from now. After this training, you get to know when that happens. Okay. I'm going to be introducing the first panelist that will be speaking with us tonight. Is not a stranger for those who attended the first event. He was here with us. He's a Ghanaian, but based in Canada. He's currently in Canada with his family. And I've met him in person. I know who he is. And I have an idea of the kind of substance he carries. For those who were here last month, I believe you can testify to that. Wisdom is not someone who is not known to this community, but is going to be coming to speak on a different subject from what we had last month. And you can always vouch for the practicality of what he shares, what he tells us, what he shares with us. The second panelist is also going to be coming up. Hopefully, he had an emergency appointment, so we hope he gets free on time before the end of this first session, so he could come up to take his own session also. Okay, so we're going to be having Wisdom talk to us first. The time is now. The real deal is here. The essence of being here. And I encourage you to sit back and explore. It's time to explore. We're going to be journeying together. It's going to be a journey. All right? And it's also good to have a pen and also a note. You can take some notes. Or if you go digital, maybe your iPad is with you or something, or your phone, maybe you have a notepad with you so you can make some notes. That could be a point of reference even after now. And it's important to also say this, that, oh, somebody out there may say, look, I'm not even planning to travel out of my country, so this really doesn't make any difference for me. Who knows? People who have traveled today, I can tell you, Wisdom can also talk about that when it comes up. People who have traveled out of their country today, at least I can tell you, like 45 to 50% of them never thought they could travel 5 or 10 years before they traveled out of their country. They were just doing things back home in their country. Maybe it never crossed their mind, or they never thought it would be that fast. So they didn't take it serious. Not until an opportunity showed up, and then they grabbed the opportunity. Opportunities will not wait for you to get ready. That's the point. So you have to live ready for opportunities. Opportunities will not wait for you. So an opportunity comes up now, and you now say, please, opportunity, hold on for me. Let me quickly go get ready. I'll come back. No, it doesn't work that way. Opportunities will catch up with those who prepare for it. All right? So that's why it's always very important in a setting like this, where something that will add value to you is being shared, is important, much more that is being organized for free. I mean, I've attended a couple of trainings like this that I paid to attend. Wisdom also understands that we've done that together before, that we had to pay to attend these kind of events, where, of course, what we got from some of those events were part of what, I mean, they are basically part of what has helped us, till now. So we can practically say that we bought some of those things by paying for them, but you are getting them for free now. So someone out there connected to you may also be in need of what you'll be getting here today. So don't attend for yourself alone. Attend for yourself and for others. As we welcome Wisdom Maguli Paco to take his own session. Welcome. So,
Thank you so much, Bankole, and greetings to you and everyone who are joining already. Uh, it amazes me a whole lot why you always have me in mind when it comes to sharing things on traveling and also opportunities. And I don't take your invite for granted. In fact, I'm really honored for inviting me for the second time. I'm most grateful to you. Yeah, and greetings to everyone who has joined already. A brother just joined in from Dubai, Dennis Wise. Greetings to you. And I think I have few people that are also joining from the link I shared on my WhatsApp status. George, I can see you join, and anyone who also joined from my side. Yeah, so concerning the topic that we will be discussing today, the truth and also the fallacies about traveling opportunities. Initially, when you sent me this topic, I was just thinking about it, either to look it from the angle of truth and fallacies about people exploring opportunities to travel, or truth and fallacies about us as travel consultants or travel agents. So I don't know. I was a bit confused initially, either to take it reasons that people travel in order to explore opportunities. I mean, the truth and fallacies that come along with that, or to look it from the travel agency perspective. So I think I jotted points from both sides. So I'll first take the opportunity one, then secondly, I'll come to certain truth and also fallacies that people have about us as travel agents or travel consultants. So and with the statistics that you announced concerning people that want to travel, about people that want to travel, it's not just about the fact that someone decided he wanted to travel long ago. Personally, I have run my company for 7 years, close to 7 years, and I never had the intention to travel. It's never crossed my mind that I will travel and come and live in Canada with my family. My wife just delivered here 2 weeks ago. It's never crossed my mind because I have helped a whole lot of Ghanaians to travel to Europe, to UK, to Canada, to America and other countries. But why then did I finally decided to even travel? Why? And these are the reasons that we are here to share with you. One, there is no doubt that we travel in order to broaden our horizon or to broaden our network base. I'm taking it on a broader perspective, not necessarily travel to go and study or travel on conference or travel to go and work, but traveling in general will broaden your network base and your horizon as a person. And I am a beneficial to this because I started traveling at the age of 19. I used to visit South Africa for holidays to network with some families and friends there. I used to visit UAE. I used to visit Europe on a few occasions. And all this broadened my network base. As I sit in the comfort of my room, I am even connected to you, Bankole, and it was as a result of a trip that I embarked on in Kigali. And also me meeting you in Ghana. So all this is one of the reasons why it is important for us to travel in order to widen our network base. Because I don't know what your future goals may be. But me as a business person, I travel in order to explore opportunities. I travel in order to network with people. I travel in order to build my space as a business person. Not only that, about you just broaden your horizon. it is also a personal growth and development process. We all know for a fact that these young people, that their parents used to take them out for holidays on vacation. Let's say someone that you used to school with in your primary school days or in your secondary school days, and all of a sudden on holidays, his or a parent would take the person out and they come and they are so sharp even at that age. Why? Because it's a personal growth for the young people. It's a personal growth for the parents. We traveling to embark on conferences. It's a personal growth that adds to our scope of knowledge and experience. So I love to travel even at that young age because I wanted to grow physically and also mentally in order to build my capacity for my business and whatever thing that I'm doing now. And this was a reason why I used to spend a whole lot of money to travel. This was the reason. And there is no doubt that these conferences that I embarked on in Ghana, in Kigali, in some African countries, also challenged me in order to put whatever vision that I was carrying to test. If we should open the floor to ask what people are thinking or what is going through people's mind, the ideas, the thoughts, the vision that people carry, it will amaze all of us. And it's not just about you carrying the vision, no, it's about you challenging the status quo. Now that you have this vision, what then do you have to do in order to explore this vision or to put them into practicalities? And this was one of the things that I learned from exploring or for embarking on various tours in Africa and all across the world. Another thing was also, it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve for us. I was in Ghana. I've lived in Ghana for 29 years. I came to to Canada in February this year. Though I was in Ghana, I was still learning about other countries. But since I'm now in Canada, I have connected to a whole lot of people, to people from China, to people from Japan, to people from Bhutan, to people from Canada, to people from Europe, to people from Vietnam, and all across the world. And I'm learning how to relate with all these people. And if I had not traveled, I would have learned all this online. I would have read all this in books, but I wouldn't have experienced this as I'm telling you right now. Because you come to my class, currently we are, I think, close to 30. And we have about 40 nationalities in that class. Less than 30 people, 40 nationalities. People from Nigeria and from Ghana, though we are the only Africans in the class. But we have a lot of Indians, we have some Chinese there, we have some people from Sri Lanka, we have someone from Canada, we have someone from Europe. And all this I'm learning from their cultures, I'm learning from how they behave, I'm learning from how they think, how they do their things. And it's as a result of me traveling and also exploring opportunities. Another truth when you travel is it also creates long-lasting memories. We all know for a fact that we concentrate so much on our work, so much on our business, and we become even burnout. We become stressed out at the end of the week or at the end of some months after. And once we embark on our trips, meaning it will be a time for us to refreshen ourselves on our bodies and also to create long-lasting memories. Sometimes I sit in my room and I begin to think about the experiences that I had when I was traveling all across the world. And I become so glad. I take my phone and I'll be looking at past memories, thinking of a hotel I slept 2 weeks in Dubai, thinking of a place I visited in Netherlands, thinking of other trips that I embarked on, thinking of my holidays here in Canada. I visited Nanaimo, thinking of my ferry trip to Vancouver, thinking of driving all the way to US border, Peace Arc. And it's just so amazing. So at times, I'm not a person who likes to travel a lot, you know. I focus so much on my work, but as a matter of fact, working, you become burnout in some point of time. And it will be the essence for you to refreshing the body and the mind. And my last point about the last truth is also people travel in order to seek for better life. In order to seek for better life. And these are those that travel in order to seek for greener pastures, purposely to go and work, purposely to go and work, purposely to go and work. And I myself, now I'm schooling here and working part-time. But even since my wife delivered few weeks ago, I'm no more working because I had to take care of my family. I'm no more working. And a whole lot of people travel in order to work and come and look for their families back home. And that is also another reason why people travel. And it's good. It's good for you to travel to seek for greener pastures, to work so hard and come to your home country in order to take care of your family. So this ends the truth why people should explore travel opportunities. And also, when I come to the fallacies aspect about exploring the opportunities, the first one will also be that it's not all rosy. That once you travel, your life will blossom, your life will blow, you will make money. No, that's not the case. I wouldn't just say the good things about us traveling and just because I'm a travel consultant or I do that for money. No, you have to have it in your mind. It's a new environment you are changing from. Even just think of the fact that you live in Abuja and you are relocating to Lagos, or you live in Lagos and you are relocating to Port Harcourt or to where? I've forgotten places I know in Abuja, in Nigeria. Yeah. It's not easy. How much more you live in your country, traveling over thousands and hundreds and 10,000s of miles in order to seek for greener pastures. It's a big of work to do. It's a whole lot. So people think just traveling, you seek for greener life, but you also have to have it at the back of your mind. You are leaving your house, you are leaving your family, you are leaving the culture, your culture, you are leaving your network base to come and start all over again. You might be a banker and you can't come and do banking here. You might be a business person in your country and you can't come and do that because you don't know their system here. You have to learn. It will take some time, but most definitely you will get over it in a space. In a space. And that was even the reason why I came here. I didn't bring my family because I wanted to study the system. I wanted to know their renting aspect. I wanted to know how I can combine school and family and also working part-time. So you also have to have that at the back of your mind. It's not all sweet. No, we have some bad and difficult moments that we go through. And another thing, another fallacy is also that people think it's all expensive. Yes, it's expensive to travel. It's expensive to travel, but let's try and do this cost and benefit analysis. Let's say you are in your home country, you are working, getting paid $1,000, you pay your rent, you take care of your family, and all that, and you see the cost involved, and you travel to, let's say, Canada, and you are making like $4,000 to $5,000 a month, and you pay rent of, let's say, 1,000, you pay your expenses, your bills, let's say 1,000, you make your deductions, which is somewhere around 2,000 or $2,005, and you are making 4,005 to 5,000, and you sit in your home country and just send $1,000. You just analyze yourself. So, in as much as it is costly to travel, long-term wise, it's efficient. It is worth it. So people think it's costly. Yes, it's costly, but it will be worth it. Another reason is also people also have the mindset that once they travel, they are escaping their problems from home. People think maybe I run my business back in Ghana, and now the burden is a lot. I know I'm traveling, so I'm escaping these burdens. And sorry to say, even the burden is now more. It's a lot on me. Before my wedding in Ghana early this year, the kind of calls and people that visited my office was a lot, because last year alone, we brought 15 people to Canada. Last year alone, my company, my management, my employees, myself, my board, we brought 15 people to Canada. So imagine in a space of 12 months, you bring in 15 people. These people are referring us to a whole lot of people back home, and they all also want to travel. So the demand was high. I thought that I'm relocating to come and further my master's education in order to escape this trouble. And could you believe me, it's even worse now. Because in as much as we brought 15 people to Canada this year, the year has not ended. But on record, I count the people that my company has brought to Canada, and they are about 23 people. Still, some people have undergone their medicals and they have passed. This year, my company has brought 23 people to Canada already. Some still are waiting their medical, some still are waiting their passport request and all that. So the year has not ended. So it's not just about you traveling in order to escape the problem. I'm using that example because I'm talking from the business field. You might also be married or have a children, or you have a child and you want to travel in order to have your sound mind. Oh, but that wouldn't just end the case, no? You just have to settle this matter home before you travel, because you travel and they'll be calling you, your son has done this and your wife is not well and all that. So in as much as you also travel to seek for opportunities, it wouldn't just escape our problems for us, yeah? And the last fallacy that I will also hint or hit on it in order for me to move on the truth and fallacies of travel agencies is the fact that traveling is not all sweet. In some point, it will be boring. In some point, it will be difficult. And it even starts on that very day that you are traveling. Imagine you traveling and you have to sit at the airport to catch your next flight, sit at the airport for 12 hours, for 8 hours, for 6 hours, doing nothing. It's not all sweet, is it? You see, so at times it's boring. Yeah, so that's also another hassle of you traveling to seek for opportunity. At times you will be lonely. At times you will feel, why? Why this life? I have a family back home. I left them and I'm here alone. I don't have anyone to rely on. I don't have anyone to talk to. But as it takes some time, you will still be connected to a lot of people. So I think this is just the first aspect of the truth and fallacy about people that want to seek travel opportunity. It's not all sweet. You have to know that it wouldn't just help you escape from your problems, and there is no place like home. In as much as we are here, I'm here with my family. I still miss my parents. Yeah, I miss my friends. I miss the Ghanaian dishes. Even just yesterday, my wife was saying she feels for kebab. I don't know if you have that in Nigeria. Kebab, this roasted meat by the roadside and with some hot pepper. He's in Canada and he's not getting that. And he said she's feeling for it.
We call it suya in Nigeria.
Oh, what?
Suya.
Soya. Oh,
Suya, yeah.
yeah, she's feeling for it. And you can't get that to eat here. So at times you also do miss home a lot. But I know it will take a bit of time and everything will be fine. And I come to truth and fallacies about travel agencies that people have about travel agencies. And Bankwele, let me just give you a tip of the iceberg. This is actually my master's thesis topic. I want to explore further why people think travel agencies in Africa, in Nigeria, in Ghana are not genuine. Why do people have this perception about us as travel agents? It's a big problem. Hope you know that.
Very big. You are opening up a big chapter. Very big problem.
A whole lot of people think travel and tour guys are not genuine and we are fake. And I should tell this for a fact, in as much as we have a lot of ingenuine ones, we also have some real ones that mean real business and are thinking of taking this to a different level, changing the narratives that people have about travel and tours back home. Because me being in my town or my city in Obuasi, Ghana, there are a lot of travel and tour companies that have come there. But let's ask this question. How many of them were even able to spend a year or to spend 2 years or to spend 3 years there? And thanks be to God, my company, Majora Group or Majora Travels and Educational Consult, one aspect of the group, we have sat in the same office for close to 7 years. We celebrated our 6th anniversary in August. We have sat in the same building for close to 7 years. And I don't take this granted. One, I will attribute all to God because had it not been God, I don't know where my company will also have been. I even remember there was a point in time you go to the radio station or the FM stations in order to advertise your business. And they said, oh, travel and tours, you people, you are not real, you are ingenuine people. Oh, but I didn't make all this stop me from pushing hard on this dream because I didn't just enter the travel and tour industry because of hunger. No, I wanted to travel in 2014 and consulted one travel and tour agency. And this agency did everything for me right. But I lost close to $600 as at 2014. I was in second year in the university. So I got to my room, decided to think about this whole process. So why then do I have to lose this money that I couldn't have done all this research by myself? That was the reason why I entered this industry. So I entered because I lost money, and as an individual, or as a student, I couldn't do this research by myself. And this brings me to my second point. The second aspect why we have to consult or believe in the work of travel and tour agencies is we are expertise in whatever business that we are doing for clients. We have the expertise, we have the technical know-how, we can advise you in as much as personally, I don't have my Canadian immigration license yet. I'm still undergoing training. Once I write these exams and I pass, I'll be a certified Canadian immigration consultant. But in as much as I don't have this license, I have still gathered some experience from people I have handled their works, from clients I have encountered, from people who have brought in their problems. Even if we don't know, we still have to research. And I can also give you a tip of the iceberg that this you do in order to help you. This reminds me, just last 2 weeks, we had a new cohort of students in my course, Masters of Arts in Tourism Management at Royal Roads University. And we had two ladies from Nigeria, Uju and Janet. And this lady, she came here as a student with a family and husband. The husband came with a visit visa, and they were thinking of how to change the visit visa for the husband to a work permit. They were thinking of changing the visit visa to a work permit, and they had to do that online. They have done the process, submitted all the necessary documents, and have waited for 2 months, no response from IRCC. And she came into contact with me. It was actually someone who suggested she should come see me because I've done for my wife, and my wife has the work permit. So she came and I told her, once you sit in your room and you do this online process, it will keep long. But once you go to the border, they have something that they call flag pull. You just go to the border and they can give your husband a work permit that same day. In as much as this lady is also into travel and tour back home, but she has not gathered a lot of experience. But I just gave this lady this advice. She went to the border with the husband and family, and that same day, the husband got the work permit because the husband was saying she wants to go home. She left his business back home and is here with a visit visa, cannot work. And this lady is so grateful to me. Always, every time she sees me in class, and she says, I saved her a lot because the husband was saying she wanted to go home to continue their business. You see, so in as much as travel and tour, we might not attain the immigration certificate or license that they require, but as a matter of fact, the experience we've gathered from dealing with people, we have much experience in whatever thing that we do. And also, another truth is, as travel and tours or as travel consultants, we save a lot of people from stress and also time and also effort that they will waste their time in order to apply school, in order to apply for visa, in order to write statement of purpose, in order to do documentation. Bankole, you don't know the stress that we save people from this, even visa application form. I'm not saying our work.
Loss.
I have people that I have guided, I have given free consultation. I have advised them, but because they couldn't meet our charges, I told them to go do visa by themselves. And some went and they did a visa and it failed. And they now brought it to us and we did it for them. And they had their approvals, and some are even in my schools. See the kind of stress that we save these people. Initially, I told you, bring it to me for me to do for you. You didn't accept it. I gave you free consultation. You didn't and got rejected. See the wasted efforts. You are still coming to pay that money again. So we save people from a lot of time. We know someone is a banker. He doesn't even have time for the family. How much more will he get a chance to sit behind his laptop to even apply for visa? So that's also another truth. So it's always important to hire an immigration consultant or an expert in the field and give your work to. in order, though he will charge something. Yeah. Another truth is also, since we understand the work so much, we have access to exclusive deals, and we can also customize your trip and your package for you. Yes, I have advised people flying on particular dates, and I have saved them more than $200 on their flight ticket. I have advised people who wanted to come to Canada and book Delta Airline or United Airline. Meanwhile, without you not having a transit visa to US or any visit visa to US, you can't take any United States airline to Canada. And I saved them from this free advice because the person nearly booked Delta. Meanwhile, he was not having a US visa. So in as much as Bankole or our participants here, you have gotten your visa, either you did the process or you did it by yourself, you consult someone who has expertise in the area of specialty, the person will give you free advice. Even if you will charge a consultation fee, it will be worth it. I have booked flights for people who mistakenly booked Brussels Airline coming to Canada, but did 2 transit in Europe, and that's not allowed. You don't have any Schengen visa, you are coming to Canada, you are going to US, you can't do transit in 2 Schengen states. Let's say Belgium and Netherlands, Belgium and Germany. It's not allowed, though we have some airlines, and the airlines wouldn't get time to explain to you. It's only our work or we as travel and tour consultants who will get the time to explain these stuff to you. I've also had people who were going to UK and also book their flight tickets on KLM or on Brussels Airline. And since UK exited from the Brexit, meaning there is no way you can do transit in the Schengen state to UK. In Africa, it's allowed. In Turkey, it's allowed. To UK, it's allowed. In Qatar Airlines and other Middle East Asian airlines is allowed, but in Netherlands. So it's always important in order to consult us for exclusive deals. In as much as we might get our commission on your flight ticket, it will be worth it in the long run. And Bankole, another truth, or the last truth I will say, then I quickly move straight to the fallacies. I know my time is fast spent. Education is always key. Education is always key. In as much as you have come to me to do your work for you as a travel and tour agent or consultant, you have to get a chance in order to do research by yourself. In order to, let's say I'm not saying something right, you also know your left and right. I mean, to say, no, you are applying for a one program for me. Will this be worth postgraduate work permit? You are applying for 2 years. Will this be worth it? Will I get my PR after working a year in postgraduate work permit offer? So you need to also learn by yourself. I wouldn't say always I'll learn for you, then you bring the work to me for me to do. You also have to sit down to read more about immigration process, and things that doubt you or things that you feel are above you, you can come to us in order to assist. I have had instances whereby people have applied their schools, and gained admission already, and we have assisted in the visa documentation process, and it has been a success. Yeah. So these are some of the truth about our work as travel and tour agents that people should know and bring their jobs to us. The first fallacy is no travel and tour agent is a consular officer or a visa officer or clearing officer. Our job is to provide expert advice or knowledge in whatever thing that you are doing. But we don't issue visa. And that's what most people are being denied or being deceived of. They sit in their rooms and someone will come and tell them, I have a genuine visa and it's 100% guaranteed. And people do come to my office, is the visit visa I'm working for them is 100%. I said, no visa is 100% guaranteed. No, I'm not an immigration consultant for Canadian government. Neither am I a visa clearing officer at the Ottawa office. So how then do I say the visa I'm doing for you is 100%? No, I'm only adding an expert's advice and working from the experience I have gathered in order to get you your visa. And Bankole, nobody knows it all. In as much as we are experts and offering advice to you and assisting in your process, doesn't mean the whole idea or all the immigration process is in my head. No, even the best of immigration consultants here still keep on learning because they keep on revising the law, changing the laws. So even if it's time for questions, you ask me something I don't know, I'll take time, revise my notes, then I get back. If I know it, I'll just give you an answer right away. And another thing is, people have the idea, I even mentioned this in the first fallacy, that our work is costly. But I made those analysis already. But one thing that people should also know from our work as travel and tour is, personally, my company, we don't have fixed charges for Canada visa, for UK visa. We don't have that fixed prices, no. Why? Because everyone has its own documentation and also I've done the work to a certain point. Someone has bank statements, have everything that I need in order to apply the visa. Why then do I have to charge that person $4,000 or $5,000? No. This is so our work as travel and tour consultants. It's quite costly, but we have a flexible payment that people should know. And once you come to our office or you talk to us personally, we can do a bit of changes with regards to our prices. Yeah, so these are the fallacies and also the truth about people traveling to explore the opportunities abroad, and also certain truth and fallacies that people have about us as travel and tour companies or agents or consultants back home. Thanks so much, Bankole, for the opportunity you granted, and thanks to all the participants for joining. I'll leave it to you.
Wow, amazing. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Someone is already saying great delivery. Yeah, that was a great delivery. Thank you very much. I want to believe you have picked a couple of things from what Wisdom shared with us. Let me also quickly remind us that this is a platform that gives back to the society. This is a community-based, a community service-based organization, and we run an NGO. We do not charge anyone for anything. It's completely free. It's a give back kind of thing to the society. It's an NGO. What we are doing right now is capacity building training, and that's exactly what Wisdom has done. If on a normal day, you had a consultation with Wisdom, all what he has shared with you now, I'm sure he wouldn't share with you for free. You'll pay for it. That's what we call consultation. You are consulting a consultant for some information, some guidance, and then you pay to get it. You pay to get it. I personally also run a consultancy, a travel consultancy firm in Lagos. And at the same time, it's also one of the things I personally do for people. And then you come to me, you pay for my service on a normal day. If I'm going to be supplying this information to you, you pay for it. Okay. But this is something you are getting for free. Absolutely for free. And wisdom said a couple of things. This is a very interesting topic, really. Some people have the minds. Yeah, in fact, personally, I tell people, you want to travel, because people reach out to me at different times. So I want to travel. Can you advise me? I have a family of 4. I'm planning to move to Canada. I'm planning to move to Germany. I'm planning to come to the Netherlands. Can you advise me? And all of that. Where I start from generally for people like that, wisdom touched on that, and I said, let me pick this up. It's something very important to pick up. It might also help someone here. If you're planning to travel, one of the fallacies you must get out of the way, get out of your mind, is that when you land in that country, you have just made heaven. Once you land in that country, you have just arrived heaven. And then in heaven, there is no lack, there's no insufficiency, there's no want. Everything is catered for. Everything is provided. So that is pure fallacy. It's pure fallacy. It's not true. Wisdom talked about that. There are challenges you have to go through. It's a new life entirely. It's like you have been uprooted from the familiar setting, and then you are coming to settle down in an unfamiliar environment. So how then do you expect to pick euro or dollar on the street? That's fallacy. If you plant a seed in the soil, what you expect is fruit after some time. But how do you get the fruit if the seed does not die and resurrect? It's just how God has fashioned life. There has to be a process where that seed dies, it decays in the soil. It decays, and it looks as if everything is ending. It's as if nothing is happening. That process of dying and decaying is a process where you are going through stuffs. It's a process where you are paying prices. At the end of it all, germinations will begin after some time, and results will start showing forth. Now, my question to people in that, with that mindset, at times I put it up to them. If you live in Ghana and you are 30 years, and at 31 you moved to the UK. Now, you lived in your country in Ghana for 30 years, but really you couldn't get a good, stable job, and you couldn't make both ends meet. In 30 years, that is in your own country, where you have your family, you have every support system with you, as it were. Now, how do you think in a country you have no idea how it operates? You're moving there for the very first time, and then you expect to just have an easy road like that in the first year when you arrive. An elephant in Africa will not be a leopard in Europe. An elephant in Africa is an elephant in Europe. So that is one of the fallacies that we really have to take cognizance of. It's a major one. Wisdom touched on that. So this will help some people that you want to travel, but in your mind, in fact, people go as far as getting a loan, selling their properties, because they know that, when I land in that country, I will quickly make money and pay back. And people don't recover from some of these mistakes, and they keep struggling in that country for many years, while they're also in debt back home. I don't know how some people get some of these fallacies anyway, But there are also a lot of information out there on the internet that some are correct, some are not. Okay. So looking at all of these things, like the family of a thing moving in, what I tell people, wisdom mentioned it. I'm touching on that also. And it might also apply to someone out there. If you're planning to move overseas, you're planning to travel with your family or something, it's always advisable, like he did also. That's what I advise people to do. Because there are people who didn't seek counsel. They traveled based on the fallacy they have in their mind that everything is going to be rosy on arrival. They moved the whole of their families, gave everything up in their country, and they got stuck in the new country they arrived. Some of them never recovered from the shock. These are fallacies. So what I personally also advise is that one person goes first. It's always a better idea. Let one person go first. Number one, it's going to save you a lot of costs. Number two, it will reduce pressure on the other person traveling because it's easier to find your way as peradventure the man moves in first. It's easier to find your way, move around, feed yourself, sort out yourself, than for you to move in with a family of 4, and then you're struggling to feed everyone, you're struggling to survive. There's going to be a lot of prayer on arrival. When you step in that country, prayer begins. Because you didn't move alone, you moved with the whole family. And it's not as if you have you are not moving in on a contract job. If it were to be that you moved into that country on a contract job, that would be a different case entirely. That at the end of the month, I have something that I'm expecting because I already have a contract job. So it's a major fallacy that it's a major fallacy that has actually shattered a lot of homes. I just really hope people will take note of this fallacy and deliver themselves from this fallacy. Different homes have been broken. Lives have been shattered just because of this alone. I'll put a pause there for now. And let's see who has questions. Wisdom has spoken to us from different angles, from different perspectives. Whatever you have in your mind, bothering you, you have any question, no question is worthless. Whatever you have in your mind that you want to clear, this is one of the things we are here for. It's a community service. We are not charging you to pay for this. I'm also a consultant. Wisdom is a consultant, but we are doing this for free because it's an NGO, right? So whatever question you have, you can always raise it now. Okay? So wisdom is here with us. We still talk about some other things, but let's quickly have some questions. So if you have a question to raise, so you can raise your hand and then we call you. If you have any question to ask, you can raise your hand, then who will call you. Okay, George has a question. That's number one. Any other person? We'll take note of those hands. George has a question. That's it's not yet George. I will call on you when it's time. So we just want to see how many people have questions first. So George is number one. Any other person with a question? Any other person with any question? Okay, so let's have okay. Okay, oh, you're in the Felix. Okay, that's second person. Number two, any other person? Okay, so if you have question, you can still raise your hand. For now, we have 2 people. So let's have George first. So George, you have the floor. Ask your question, please. George, you have the floor. Please ask your question. Okay, let's move to the next person. We'll come back to you, George. So let's move to Oyerinde Felix. So you have the floor. Please ask your question.
Okay, good evening. I firstly want to appreciate the host and the presenter, Mr. Wisdom. That's a powerful presentation. I really got a lot from it. Thanks so much, sir. My question is, I want to ask, considering the amounts that uh, uh, traveling abroad involves, or that one may need to spend, at times when you think on the huge amounts, I want to get discouraged that, considering your financial status presently now, that if maybe you are not even having up to that and you are having the dream, but I just want to ask, what are the things that one can start doing, practical steps that one can start taking that can position one, on that path that once the opportunity come, one will be able to take advantage of it, even with the maybe low income that one may be experiencing here in Nigeria now, still having the dream. What are the things that one can start doing that can assist one into the future? Thanks so much, sir.
Okay, so
Wow.
Wisdom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have to take it one at a time, right? Yeah, Felix, thanks so much for your question. So we all know, like I said, when we were mentioning of the truth and also the fallacy, most definitely it will entail some cost. Yeah, cost. Yeah, but what you have to have in your mind is in as much as you have the money or you do not have the money, it's all a process. It's a process. And what you have to know is, let's say, if you want to travel using the school route or using the work permit route or going to visit, you need to have the right set of documents. You need to have the right set of documents. Why am I saying this? I made mention that there is no way you come to our office and we have fixed prices per countries, no, or per the offer we are offering. Because someone will be coming and the person will get his or her own bank statement. So it's all about you preparing. In as much as you are working or earning a low income from your job, you can consult one or two family members or friends in order to help you, let's say, with the bank statement that will be needed to apply your school or needed to apply for your visa to travel as a student. Because in as much as you want to travel and you don't have a bank statement in your name or in a sponsor's name, you come to my office, one way or the other, we can help you get over that. But have it in mind, it comes with a cost. So I even throw it to most of our clients that you can possibly talk to some families and friends who are business people who can possibly support you with your bank statement in order to escape that cost. Secondly, there are also instances whereby we help people get a visa and they are able to pay 50% or part payments, and we do documentation. If I say documentation, I mean whatever I'm saying. With, let's say, a collateral, a security, something in order to bind us, I mean, yeah. Because initially I was not so much particular about this collateral and all those kind of things. I just type something, you sign. But a lot of people took our money in ransom and also pay us when they want. But as we have a binding agreement between both parties, we can make you make part payment and structure the rest of the payments, provided you can meet all our criteria or the collateral deposit that we are requesting. I don't know if you answered your question. It's about preparing your documents and also talking to families and friends who can help you. Once your visa comes, you can make part payments and the rest can be paid. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, and also in addition to that, one of the ways in which you can also sort out the financial requirements about your traveling is scholarships. Scholarships. And the next edition of our training will be addressing that majorly next month. We are bringing in two amazing scholarship gurus. It's going to be amazing next month. We are bringing two scholarship gurus. One is based in Denmark. The other one is based in Australia. So hopefully, we are still working on the availability. It's always a whole lot. So hopefully, we have them signed up for the training next month. So they are scholarship gurus, and they'll be coming to also feed the community with the practical details about how to win a scholarship for yourself practically. And also from there, we're going to be having a kind of mentorship group for those who are willing to also explore scholarships to open more opportunities for them abroad. So we're going to be having that kind of mentorship program also for people in that category for the next month. So that's one of the ways in which you can also do that. Scholarships can also help in addition to what Wisdom already said. So I believe that answers your question. Does that answer your question? Okay. All right. Perfect. So
Perfectly, sir. Thanks so much, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. So we'll move to the next question. I think someone raised his hand the other time. Or has your question been answered already in the course of answering the other questions? Okay. Does anyone have any other question? Okay. Akonji Michael. Okay. Okay. You can ask your question. You have the floor now.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. So, sir, I would like to ask, when one has a visa, like a visiting visa to Canada, and then maybe, for instance, like 10 years visa, and then one has the intention to, get a PR, like, is it possible to process that while in Canada, or one would, with that visa, one would still have to come back to Nigeria and then do the processing? So I'll just like to know, is it possible while in Canada for that period of, because I know like there's a validity period for 6 months or so. So, or I don't know, I might be wrong, but that's like the information I got. So like while in Canada during that period, is it possible for one to like start that processing and then probably get something else that will make one to stay longer, right, in Canada, maybe school or something, then while one is processing the PR.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So let's have Wisdom.
Yeah, thanks so much for the question. Yeah, what I will say is you can come here with a visit visa, and lately they do issue as long as 8 years, 9 years visa to tourists. But as a tourist or as a visitor here in Canada, what the law states is that you shouldn't exceed more than 6 months. You shouldn't exceed more than 6 months, but most of the visit visa are multiple entry. So once you enter, the very first day, it doesn't matter when you had your visa. It depends on when first you enter the country. So the very first day you entered here, you can stay here for, let's say, 6 months. and you can move out and also re-enter again. But in order for you to change your status as a visit or as a visitor, meaning one, you can do that once you are here. I don't know which type of visitor visa you got, but if the person came through an invite from a spouse, meaning they can embark on that flag pulling that I was talking about in order to change the visit visa to work permit, to open work permit. Let me be precise.
Yeah.
Another way is you can also apply it online to change the visit visa to open work permit. But all this process has to be within the first 6 months of your stay here in Canada. I want to tackle that, then I come to the PR one. So once you are able to change your visit visa to work permits for PR, you need to work full time for a year or two, then you can apply for PR. But we have some work or some occupation. It's quite easier when you apply for PR, they grant it early. Like those who work in the care jobs, those who work in construction companies, nurses, those health professionals, it's quite easier to get PR than, let's say, those. I'm not allowed to mention any job though, but like the example I'm making. And concerning another way that you can also change your status from visit visa is also once you enter, you can apply school. You can apply for school. You came here with a visit visa. You just look smart, apply for admission. You have your school and change your status online using your IRCC. It's allowed here in Canada. Once they go through your documents, you have your bank statement from home to support that you are here as a visit, but you have had admission. But all this has to happen within the 6 months. And another instance is people come here and they are able to get job, and the job is willing to change your visit visa to work permit using the LMIA certificate. Yeah, so that has also been done. People entered, then they can change your status once you have a work permit. But all is a process. And once you work full time, you can just switch to the PR or whatever thing that you want to move ahead from there. I don't know if I've answered your question well. Or if Bankole also, I have a small top up.
Yeah, yes. Let me also add to that. There was a particular lady that contacted me sometime last year. Was it last year? No, sometime early this year. So she basically needed our service in our company, and then she was talking to me about the fact that she has an ongoing visitors visa application with Canada. She's still expecting the feedback for quite some months, and she's also planning to apply for a study, either a study or a PR in same Canada, while she's still waiting for a decision on her visitor's visa to Canada. So she was, she wanted us to help her and all that. So the bottom line is, and the truth is, it's just about logic. It's logical. If I were to be an immigration officer, if I were to be a consular rather, and I am to access the applicant's application, it's the same way I thought about it, that I would have been thinking also as the consular. Now, you are applying for a visitor's visa to visit our country, right? And there's this picture of Africans, especially maybe Nigerians, but it's general in Africa anyway, that if you apply for a visitor's visa, there is high chance that you won't return to your country after the visa expires. All right, that's established with all embassies in Africa. All embassies have that at the back of their mind. When an African is coming to submit a visitor's visa application to their embassy, they are fully aware that at least like 70–80% would never return to their country. All right. So that is always at the back of their mind when they are assessing your application and when they are also interviewing you for those who do interviews. Okay. Now, you've submitted your visitor's visa application, you're expecting a feedback. And because there's a delay in that, you proceeded to apply to kick off, let's say, PR application. All right. So the IRCC will get a notification, they will get your record that, okay, you're also trying to apply for a PR in their country. Now you have duplicate application ongoing at the same time. You have visitor's visa application, and you have created a profile to start your PR. Now, if you were to be the consular, what would you think about that person, about that visa applicant? It's very simple. Now, I can tell you that the moment IRCC gets a notification of your PR application, in a week or less, you will get a denial letter for your visitor's visa. That's guaranteed. I can tell you that. That's guaranteed. It means in the first place, your visitor's visa application was not genuine. Because there was a delay, you were trying to look for another alternative by submitting an application for PR, which means if you get a visitor's visa, you won't return. It's simple. The logic is just very simple. So I advised the young lady, I said, this is how it's going to be. I'm a consultant. I could have said, okay, pay me. But it's not about money. That's what Wisdom was talking about the other time. It's about guiding people right also. It's not just all about money. It's about supplying the right information to people. Okay? If you have an ongoing application, or let's say you have a visitor's visa already, fine. And then you leave for Canada, you can't spend more than 6 months. I always advise people to be sure that they obey the visa protocol. It's just the same way. Someone helped you the first time, and then you slapped the person. Obviously, you have closed the door. You can't get further help from that person the next time. So if they have given you a visa and then you exceed the stay, then it makes it difficult for you to get an approval the next time you apply. Like Wisdom said, there are a couple of things you can do legally within that 6 months, but make sure that if nothing seems to work out within that 6 months, I beg you, return to your country. Within that 6 months, return to your country. Some people have decided to take a risk and stay back. So they become refugees in quotes in that country. And what it means is they also cannot come out publicly to seek opportunities, to look for opportunities, because they don't have legal stay. So they are hiding from pillar to post. There are a lot of Africans abroad like that for 10 years, they can't come out publicly. They are in the hiding place. For 10 years, they are in that country. They can't go back home at the same time. So they are wasting away. So you don't want to box yourself to that corner. It's always a regret zone. All right, it's a major regret zone. So I strictly, of course, Canada during COVID, they made a rule that those who were in Canada during COVID, they came on visit to Canada, and then COVID caught them in Canada. So the Canadian, government changed the law to accommodate an extension for them. Okay, you can still stay back, on the other hand. Also, if you're able to get a job, like Wisdom said, an LMIA sponsored job, the employer sponsors your stay, applies for you, you can stay back legally in Canada, which last year they extended that same law for the next 2 years, I think. So as a visitor's visa holder, and you go to Canada within 6 months, one of the legal ways in which you can stay back is if you get an LMIA sponsored job. Legally, you can stay back. But the bottom line is, because we also have to tell you the truth. These are some of the fallacies also that we are trying to deconstruct in people's mind, thinking that it's always something very easy to do. It's just 6 months now. I'll get a job. Don't worry. I will get an employer to sponsor me. Even people in Canada for 1 year, for 2 years, they are still trying to stabilize and get a job for themselves. All right. So it's not always that rosy. It's not always that easy. Okay. So, these are some of the things you now need to put in mind and be sure that you don't misuse that visa if you have the visa already, So this platform is also trying to help you to provide the right information that, on the normal day you could have been paying to get, but this is an NGO, like we said, to supply the right information that you can always bank on, So this is also my candid advice to you. If you have your visitor's visa already, it is best to be sure that whatever plan you have, be sure that it's going to work out in 6 months. If nothing seems coming forth, please return. It's always the best to return. Don't plan to exceed the stay. It's going to be a major barrier. And one of the things a lot of people don't also know, let me mention this. I know Wisdom will be aware of this. Let me mention this. A lot of people also don't know this. That's why they do some things without knowing. All right. Some of these embassies, they share information with each other. Yeah, they share information with each other. Database. Now, let me give you an instance. Someone applies to the UK, for instance, and the person gets denied. Now, UK Immigration Office shares the data of that person, the record of that person, with other embassies. They operate on bilateral agreements. It's not every country, but countries have bilateral agreements that they exchange data. All right. So let's assume the UK government has a bilateral agreement on exchange of data with United States government, with Canadian government, with maybe Greek government, with some other governments like that. So what happens is everybody that applied for visa to the UK, definitely there's a central system where the information is that other countries' embassies can easily look up your information online and see that you have applied to the UK before and you were denied. This was the reason. Now you're applying to the US, and in filling your form, they asked you, have you ever been denied a visa before? And you said no. But right in front of the consular is looking at your data that you've applied to the UK and you were denied. But here you're feeling no. If you were to be the consular officer, what would be your answer? It's a no, it's a denial. It's an automatic denial. But many people don't know these things. All right? Many people don't know. So when you see a lot of denial rates, don't be quick to also judge consular officials. Let's come back and analyze things. Are there fallacies in people's mind? Are there truths that they trampled on? These are some of the things people are not aware of. They don't know. All right? So I just needed to also, ship that in. It's also going to help someone out there. So I really want to believe you've definitely got more than even what you asked for in the question, okay? Which definitely would also help some other people, okay? So we want to believe that answers your question, Michael.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, so do we have any other question? Does anybody have any other question? Now, I'll mention some fallacies. It's so unfortunate that the other speaker, the other panelists could not come up. Eventually, he was caught up in an emergency meeting, and eventually he couldn't come up. So most likely we'll have him the next time. So we'll also communicate that. We'll let you know about that. But I'll just also mention some fallacies that we also need to take note of, okay? So there is this idea, especially for people that are coming to study abroad, there's this fallacy in people's mind that, look, since I'm able to make it within the framework of the educational sector in Nigeria, in Africa at large, there are a whole lot to talk about the African educational system, which is not encouraging. Of course, everybody here definitely would have one or two things to say, especially for those who have been exposed to some other systems out of their country. You know that definitely there's a lot of gap back in Africa. So there's this idea that since I'm able to make it in Nigeria, at least in school, I went through a whole lot. In fact, I went through a whole lot of things, and thank God I was able to graduate. So my belief is that If I travel abroad and go for my master's or another bachelor's or PhD, it's going to be easier. Life is easier abroad. The educational system is also easier abroad. I can tell you that mindset is operating in fallacy. All right? It's operating in fallacy. There's major difference between the educational system in Africa and other developed nations, especially in the Western world. Okay? Most of the things we're exposed to in Africa, these are things that are basically theoretical. In fact, you can begin to relate with what I'm saying right now. We had a lot of people that made distinctions in different courses just because they could memorize, because they could memorize the whole textbook, they could memorize the whole notebook, and then in the exam, they poured out those things the same way they memorized, and then they got their A's, they got their B's, and they moved on. All right? A lot of theories. Now, when you come abroad to study, it's a different story. Don't fall for that fallacy. It's fallacy. It's a different story. All right? The educational system abroad is basically practical, that will place a task on your intelligence. You have to think. And that's why an average bachelor's degree holder abroad is sound in IQ to the level that it doesn't feel necessary to go for a master's, because the IQ is already developed before he could graduate in those 4 or 3 years. His IQ has been developed. He has gone through series of mental engagements at different points, such that those 4 years are enough struggle for him or her mentally to go and rest for some time. Compared to someone who has a bachelor's degree, 4 years in Africa, what he was basically doing was to memorize and go and pour and get A in the exam. They are two different things. Okay, so when you travel abroad as a student, don't expect the same standard back home in Africa, and don't think I'm traveling abroad is going to be easier. No, it's a different ballgame entirely that will place serious task on your intelligence. You have to think. Now you have to do independent thinking. You have to think independently. A lot of times you can get involved in group assignments. In fact, some people even get involved in some sort of malpractice back home, and then you get away with these things. But when you travel abroad, you want to study and all that, there are a whole lot of things you have to do individually on your own. And this is just the standard that is expected of everyone. Nobody beats, it's just the normal expectation of everyone. So the mindset that, oh, the educational system abroad is very easy, no stress, no nothing. No, it's fallacy. But if you can go through it and graduate, it's not going to leave you the same mentally. Now, if you want to check out what I'm saying, if you know 1 or 2 people that have a foreign degree, they've graduated in the countries they've been to, you can ask them this question: oh, how was it? How was the journey? Was it that smooth? Was it that easy? When you were coming, what you had in mind, was it exactly what you made on ground? They will tell you no. That's why you see someone graduating is very excited, very happy, because it's more or less like a level of victory entirely. But the truth is, it doesn't leave you the same if you can go through it. That's just another side story. It doesn't leave you the same. Once you can go through it, you become a product on your own. You become a product for the society. All right? It doesn't leave you the same. You know how many first class, second class, degree holders we have back in Africa that you can't engage them in the intellectual discourse. Now, when you travel abroad, you see an 18-year-old boy, a white boy, 18 years, is a bachelor's degree holder. Then the level of his intellectual engagement is so challenging that a master's degree holder is trying to question some things. How is this guy? So there are 2 different systems entirely. All right, there are 2 different systems. So these are some of the fallacies that people need to also, get out of, get out of these fallacies. Okay. So another fallacy is that people thinking that study abroad or traveling abroad, as it were, is so expensive that it's not worth it. No. It is an investment that if someone was speaking to me yesterday, in Nigeria from the East, she's planning to, to travel to the Netherlands, and then she's making some inquiries, and then I was advising her. I said, if you can meet this condition, this condition, this condition, and that condition, then you definitely will know that you have made a good investment. Now, when you are making an investment, it's tough, right? It's tough. For instance, you're making a $10,000 investment. When you are sending that money, when you are paying that money, it's like you are giving away a lot of money. It's like you lost that money. It's painful. All right. But for that period, you think something went out. But after some time, when the returns on investment comes, that's when you knew that, oh, the $10,000 I paid then, now I'm getting the benefits. I'm happy I made the investment then. I tell people, see traveling like that. It's always an investment. Don't think you are spending money. You are investing when you're traveling. So it is fallacy when people think they are spending money when they are traveling. You are investing your money. Either you're going for a visit or you are going for a permanent relocation. It makes no difference. As long as you are traveling, you are investing in yourself. You are investing in yourself. Myself and Wisdom met in a conference that we both paid to attend. I wasn't spending money. I was investing. He invested. We paid for a conference where we met. All right. So this idea, in fact, some people, some people just have that, they just have that mentality, that mindset that this thing is really very expensive. I don't think so me. If you see traveling as an investment, it's going to help you a lot, because by the time you arrive, you are not expecting what is vague, what is not realistic, what is not achievable, and you are not expecting quick returns on arrival also, because some people, in fact, that leads us to another fallacy, that when you arrive, things will just, you can easily get a job, you can plan yourself from your country. Don't be deceived. Plan yourself. I tell people, plan what you are going to need for at least 6 months to 1 year when you're traveling. Plan yourself. Don't always think that, oh, let me just look for money to travel. So don't just think that, oh, let me just look for money to travel. So once I travel and I arrive that country, I can immediately start making money. I can get a job and start making money. No, it doesn't work like that. So that people don't eventually come under pressure. Do you know what is happening to international students globally in different countries now? Different countries now. Number one is that exchange rate has become extremely high that it becomes difficult for them to even receive financial support back home, especially from Nigeria, for instance. Exchange rate has become so high that it becomes uneasy to receive financial assistance to cover their living costs and their tuition, and then people are stranded. Even in the first year, they're stranded. So why in the first place did you hurry to travel? I tell people, you don't have to travel tomorrow. It's not as if it is compulsory. No, you can always plan it. Plan it. It's something you can give yourself a space to plan it. So by the time you arrive, you achieve the goal and travel eventually, it's going to be worth the time you invested in planning it. So don't say, oh, I must leave this country tomorrow. What are the plans? What are your plans? When you arrive the country for the first 6 months, what are your plans? Bills are real abroad. And wisdom will testify to this. You know, you can beg people back in Africa. Oh, your landlord can come and say, look, I'm very sorry, I don't have the rent right now. Please give me some time and all that. Oh, you know, you need to pay your electricity bill, and then you can still tip them. At times you can say, oh, please, I'll pay so time and all of that. Those things you can beg. When it comes to a setting that works like this, you beg nobody. Bills are real. You pay your bill. If you don't pay your bill, you lose the service. And there's no emotion. There are no strings attached. There's no emotion. That's how it works. All right. So you don't want to come into a setting that you box yourself to a corner and you are under serious pressure. So plan yourself. So if you're planning to travel, plan yourself. Don't fall for that fallacy that, oh, when I arrive, everything is going to be fine. These people are, in fact, some people even have the mindset that, once you land, people will respond. You can easily get connections and all that. Who do you know that will connect you like that so easily? Because people have different things in their mind about traveling. So it's important to decongest the mind from some of these fallacies so that you can be free to take the right decision that definitely would be, it will be worth the investment at the end of the day, you know, so you won't have yourself to blame. Traveling is good. Traveling is fine. Traveling is an investment. It's rewarding. It's highly rewarding. I can tell you that. For whatever reason you're traveling for visit, you'll get it back. All right. When you invest in traveling, you are developing yourself. You are investing in yourself. You get the exposure you get is part of it. The connections and linkages you get is part of it. Though the connections and contacts wisdom has made even in class is not something he could have bought with money. But the whole money embedded in him moving to Canada got him those things, and he's still counting. Right? So these are some of the fallacies that people need to really be aware of and be sure that you don't fall for this. These fallacies have actually made a lot of people, it has rendered different lives shattered at different levels. You know, people are in the hiding place. And also another fallacy you need to take note of is that, you know, when you travel abroad, you also cannot get a job. In fact, people abroad are just doing menial jobs. They are washing toilets. Yeah, they are what they are doing is just they are cleaning, they are doing cleaning jobs, whatever. No. That's also fallacy. All right, that's fallacy. No, there are people that not discountenancing the days of little beginnings, like the Bible says. Definitely, there are times when you arrive, especially if you are a student. That period in your life is not a period to make a whole lot of money or expect to make a lot of money. You are here for study. You settle down, you go through your program. That's an investment period. You are investing in yourself. By the time you are done with your program, you become an asset. You become a potential asset to the workforce by the time you get a job in that country. And once you have the degree in that country, that gives you an advantage over someone coming with a foreign degree, right? Because you have studied in their country, they will recognize their own certificate first. Because you have gone through their process, you are a product of their process. That gives you an advantage. Now, after that, let's now assume you get a job. And then you are earning £4,000, 4,000 euros, $4,000 in a month, for instance. So there are a whole lot. I can tell you there are a lot of opportunities out there, a lot of opportunities. So the fan people, some of the people supplying this information to, when you get on social media, you see a whole lot of stuff. People will tell you what they want to say from their own personal experience. All right. So if someone is telling you life is difficult abroad, and then you believe it, that's fallacy. It doesn't apply to everyone. It's contextual. All right. It's contextual. There are a whole lot of things you need to think about before you come to a conclusion. These things are contextual. All right. So I know of people that, traveled from Nigeria abroad, settled down to go through their program. And after their program, got a job immediately. And then from the job is traveling all across Europe and earning some good amounts, even as a Black person. So if I also another fallacy is, I'm a Black person, this and that. Is it possible to get good offer and all that? Yes, it is possible. It is very possible. These are things that are real. It is fallacy to believe that everybody abroad does many jobs and there are no good jobs for Black people. That's fallacy. All right? That's fallacy. It's not true. Some people who genuinely have the dream, they have the goal to travel, but because of the fear of the unknown from this fallacy, I've heard a whole lot that, as a Black person, you can't get some good offers abroad, only many jobs and all that. So I don't want to give up what I'm doing because I don't know what I'll meet. The fear of the unknown. These are fallacies. These are fallacies. And most times when you even look at people, when you look at people like that, what are the things you can do as a person, right? That's why I advise people to pick up skills. Soft skills sell. I tell people that every single time. Soft skills sell. Soft skills sell anywhere. What can you do? What can you do? It's not all about your degree. What can you do? What skills do you have? What use of what benefit are you going to be to the society you are moving into? What can you do? No, you are a good fashion designer. You can make different designs and all that. You are a tech person. You have all those technicalities and all of that. What are the things you can do apart from school, apart from your degree? What are the things? What are the skills you have added to yourself? I can tell you those things will sell when you move abroad. Because these are some of the things that these white people pay for if you know what you're doing. In fact, I've seen a couple of people, back in Nigeria and some other African countries, and I say this particular thing to do, this is going to fetch you a whole lot of opportunities if you move abroad. But it may look little in the person's hand and eyes. It may look so little. No, it makes no. In fact, it makes no sense. And then the person belittles it. And then until you move to another place and you discover that it is really very much appreciated and is valued. So don't underrate yourself. Don't look down yourself. Learn in fact, in the waiting period, I tell people to, especially students, if you are waiting for a visa to a country, you've applied for visa to a country, that period of waiting, don't just sit back at home and check your mail every single minute, expecting a feedback from the embassy. Go learn a skill. Pick up a skill. Equip yourself while you are waiting. So you are occupying time. All right? While you are waiting for something. By the time the result comes, either positive or negative, you have become a better person. Time was not wasted. You occupied time. So I tell people the waiting period for your visa is not a time to be agitated. It's not a time to be fighting your travel consultant. Oh, has visa been approved? Has it not been approved? Why? What happened? And asking all sorts of questions. We've seen all sorts of things from people. So it's a time to develop yourself. It's a time to work on yourself. It's a time to acquire soft skills. All right. So these are some of the truths and also fallacies that you need to take note of. So the truth is that you can be fully and completely, correctly, excellently employed abroad. That's the truth. And the fallacy is that, oh, there are only menial jobs. That's fallacy. And as we round off, you can always trust the strength of exchange rate. Exchange rate will always be a major strength. I mean, major strength. You can imagine how much is dollar to naira, how much is euro to naira. That's a major strength anytime. Someone who has 100 euros is not the same person. I mean, it's not the same as someone who has, let's say, 10,000 naira. They are not the same. Or let's even say 100,000 naira. It's not the same. That's why I also encourage people to always save in hard currencies, because it can always appreciate. You can't trust some of these African currencies. It's always wisdom to save in hard currency or invest in hard currency. So Forex will definitely be an advantage when you travel. So that's the truth. It's not fallacy. There's no fallacy there. That's the truth. It will always be an advantage. Currently, 1,000 euros is more than 1 million naira. You can imagine that just 1,000 euros is more than 1 million naira. All right? 1,000 pounds is over 1.5, if I'm not mistaken. It's over 1.5 million naira, if I'm not mistaken. That's a whole lot. Okay? So there are truths, there are fallacies. There are a whole lot of them. Maybe we have a second edition of this particular training that we can't even finish talking about them in this just single meeting. All right? There are still a whole lot of them that we have not touched. Also, the second speaker has a whole PowerPoint on some of these things also that he'll be coming to share in another meeting. All right? So we want to appreciate everyone who has made out time to attend this training today. As we begin to prepare to round off, I don't know if anyone has any other question. Don't know if anyone has any other question to ask. Okay. Questions and answers, anyone? Okay, so if there are no questions and answers, thank you very much, Wisdom, once again for that. Thank you very much. That was an excellent piece. That was an excellent presentation. Thank you very much. A whole lot of eye-opening tips that you shared with us. Thank you very much. Okay, so in case you have questions that peradventure would come up later on, or you have testimonials, we have people that have benefited from this community already, that we have, different people sharing with us at different times. So you can always send them to us via mail. You can send your questions, you can send your queries, you can send your testimonials to us via mail, bankofopportunities@gmail.com. You can always do that, and then we respond to you. Then the next general event will also be announced. Of course, it's going to be in November. So we've been bringing scholarship gurus to talk to us. We still have a couple of, a whole lot of things that we'll be addressing at different times. So different panelists will be coming to talk about different things, different areas of life, different opportunities that you can talk about, different kind of opportunities that will be, that will be talking about. We'll be bringing some panelists also that will be bringing some international job offers, job opportunities that people can cash in on. We'll be doing that also much later. So a whole lot of disciplines that will be touching, different areas of life that will be touching with this capacity building training. And also in the last training, we had training on personal development and all that, which is also part of personal development. Okay, and we have a project ongoing for that already. So maybe in case you want to join, you can always click on the next link after now. And there was a book challenge that we had in that project that is still ongoing from last week. So we want to put that challenge also to you. In case you are interested in developing yourself personally, we want to challenge you to pick a copy of this book for yourself and study it. Attitude is everything. All right, you can get your copy wherever, you can also get the soft copy. It's also free on the internet. You can always get it and study. All right, part of the ways in which you can build capacity is reading books, good quality books. I can tell you this book, I have read this book personally and I'm reading it again, and I know what I encountered in this particular book. I'm not selling any book. We are not selling any book to anybody. We are only bringing information and opportunities that will transform people's life, that will add to people. That's basically what we're doing. So you can get a copy for yourself and study this book. All right. So we have it as a challenge in the personal development project we are doing already. So it's been recommended for those on that project. We are reading it. We're going to be having some reviews in our next meetings after that. Okay. So just an addition for those who care. Okay. So you can also connect with us on any of our platforms through this link. So we have a couple of platforms in which you can connect, and some of our projects are also announced on this link. So you can click and see whatever platform you would want to join. The part of what we are doing also. So much more later, we're going to be bringing some other international organizations on board. Some of the recognized organizations on board too, where is part of our goals and part of our targets also, like UN, like United Nations, like UNICEF, and different other. And also we are looking at some other opportunities for maybe for some kind of internships, some job offers, some conferences that people can attend on some of these international organizations and all that. So we're going to be bringing that to you in the course of time as they unfold. Okay, so thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you very much for being part of this training today. I want to appreciate everyone from Ghana, from Nigeria, from Canada, from maybe I think Uganda, from the UAE, from Dubai, specifically Dubai, from different parts of the world that have been part of this training today. Thank you very much. And we also want to believe that you picked one or two things from this training today. We obviously didn't bore you, so you can always leave a comment for us. You can always leave a comment for us to also let us know how you feel about the training. Peradventure, you want to share your experience with us, some of the things you have learned with us, and some of the things that you also hope to learn in the future. You can always share that with us on any of our platforms. Okay. Once again, thank you very much. And also, thank you, Wisdom. We want to thank you especially, Wisdom. Can we all say thank you to Wisdom for making out time? I know he's very busy, and his wife gave birth, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? And I saw his post too. I chatted him up. Wisdom, can you come on video? So I also saw him. His wife gave birth, like I think last week or 2 weeks ago, on the same day that he said he also got some feedbacks from some of the applications he did for some of his clients, and it was really, really awesome. That was not coincidence. When you are a good person, definitely good things will also locate you. So we also use this medium to congratulate you on the occasion of your new arrival. That was awesome. And we really pray that God upholds you and strengthens you more. Thank you for making out time to be part of this training today. Thank you very much. So, okay, so people are already thanking you, Wisdom, in the chat board. Thank you very much for making out time. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, congratulations to you, Wisdom. Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, thank you very much for that. So let's make it out again the next time for our training next month. So let's watch out on our pages, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and also on our YouTube channel. So You can always look us up on those platforms. And for those who want to connect with us also on WhatsApp and Telegram for daily updates, we share daily updates with people in the community about scholarships at different levels on a daily basis on WhatsApp and also on our Telegram page. So you may want to join to be part of that so you get those daily updates. Okay. Thank you very much. And do well to also look up our YouTube channel, subscribe, and share this recording with other people. It's going to also be of profit to other persons. It will be available on our YouTube channel, so you can always watch and share with other people. And do well to also subscribe and turn on the notifications bell so you always get an alert each time we upload the contents on that page. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and do have a great night rest or a great day from wherever you're connecting from. Thank you.
Thanks so much, sir. Really appreciate you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for making it a date. Thank you.